A couple of years ago, budget wireless systems weren't that great, but today you can find affordable wireless systems that actually sounds and works pretty well. And I think the Fulaim X5 might be a great example of this progression. The X5 is a 2-transmitter system that comes with a charging case. It can record up to 9 hours of uncompressed audio internally, and it has a built-in noise cancelling feature. Now, this here is going to be an example from a very, very noisy environment.
The Canon R6.
Yeah, how do you like it?
It's new to me. I'm not. How do I like it? I have to get used to it. That's actually what it is, and I'm not used to shooting with a mirrorless camera yet. My whole career, I've been shooting with a mirrored or prism camera. And I'm still getting used to looking through a TV screen on the back of my camera.
The noise cancelling is pretty aggressive and it kind of eats its way onto the dialogue a tiny bit, but it's still a nice feature to have for things like quick turnaround projects or live events where you won't have the time or the option to do any sound treatment in post. Compared to the Rode Wireless Go 2, the X5 is a lot smaller and more compact, and I think I actually like this slightly more elongated shape and the matte finish a bit more. They've also added a magnet to the back of the clip here, so you can mount the transmitter in a favorable position, no matter what type of clothing you or your talent is wearing. I like this feature. It's one of my pet peeves with the Rode Wireless Go 2 system, unless you want to buy those extra little magnetic clips they sell separately. So just to give you an example, I'm wearing a shirt, which is technically better than a t-shirt maybe, but I'm still gonna have the same issue here if I mount the microphone with a clip like this to my shirt. The diaphragm or the microphone of the little transmitter here is gonna point this way instead of this way. So with the magnets on the clip, I can just put the magnet behind my shirt and clip it on like this, and now the microphone is actually pointing the correct way, and this will definitely help you get cleaner audio. The built-in memory can store up to 9 hours of uncompressed WAV files, and you don't need any special software or anything to offload these files to your computer or your smart device. Just connect the transmitter with the included USB-C cable and it should show up like a portable drive. After my first test with the X5, I was actually pretty surprised by the sound quality of the built-in microphone. And by the way, they also come with these tiny little twist lock windshields if you're planning on using this system outdoors. But let's listen to the built-in microphone here in the studio. You're now listening to the built-in microphone on the Rode Wireless Go 2, and this is what it sounds like here in my studio. I have it mounted here on my shirt, just like I'd normally do. Now, let's take a listen to the X5 and the built-in microphone on that transmitter. And now you're listening to the built-in microphone of the Fulaim X5, and this is what it sounds like. And if we were to compare it to the Rode Wireless Go 2, you know, I haven't listened to this myself, but let me know in the comment section what you think about the different qualities of sound between these two microphone systems. I think the X5 actually holds up pretty well. And if you want a more discreet setup, you can always use an external lavalier and plug it into the 3.5mm jack on the top of the transmitter next to the built-in microphone. The transmitter also have a couple of neat features, such as a dedicated headphone jack for monitoring your audio. There's also signal strength and battery indicators visible on the screen here on the front, and you can toggle between things like a stereo or a mono or even a -6 dB safety channel output from the receiver. This way, if your main channel clips, then you have that -6 dB backup track to fall back on if you need to make any repairs to your audio. Now, when it comes to range, I've not had any issues with dropouts during things like normal use with the system. And according to Fulaim, it should be good to go for up to 650 feet or roughly 200 meters line of sight. And for those of you that don't know what line of sight means, it's basically like an unobstructed pathway between the transmitter and the receiver. So yeah, but I still suggest that you always have the internal recording on. This way you don't have to worry about any potential dropouts, and if you want the best audio possible, you should be using the internal recordings instead of the audio being recorded on your camera. And on top of using this system with your camera, you can plug it into your computer or smartphone, tablets, what have you, for things like video calls or for vlogging. And in the charging case, there's two little angled connectors, one for Android and one for iPhone, which makes for a very, very compact setup. And speaking of the charging case, it's got a built-in 2000 milliamp battery that should have enough juice to charge all these three different components 2 times over before it's time to recharge the charging case itself. The battery life of these different units is said to be around 9 hours, but from experience that number is usually a little bit lower when you're using the internal recordings on the transmitters. And now you're listening to the built-in microphone of the Fulaim X5, and this is what it sounds like. And if we were to compare it to the Rode Wireless Go 2, I haven't listened to this myself, but let me know in the comment section what you think about the different qualities of sound between these two microphone systems. I think the X5 actually holds up pretty well. Now, the build quality might not be quite on par with the Rode Wireless Go 2, but it's not bad, and considering the current price at only $129 for the X5, which is actually less than half the price of the Wireless Go 2, you're getting a very, very capable wireless system for those $129. Downsides with this system might be things like the latency compared to some of the more expensive systems, where I believe Rode Wireless Go 2 is one of the best, but it's still within a tolerable range. I'd say it's about half a frame when you're shooting in 24 or 25 frames per second, which is okay for most people in normal use. The noise cancelling feature is a bit too aggressive, in my opinion, to be useful in more types of environments with light to kind of moderate ambient noise, in my opinion. But then again, I'd rather have that feature on board than not. So overall, I think it's a nice budget-friendly wireless system that definitely will get you started and something that you can work with for a longer period of time. It's nice and compact, and I really like the fact that you get a charging case with the system. The sound quality is also pretty decent. So I want to thank Fulaim for sending me this system to be reviewed. They haven't had any input on this video. I've made my own tests and drawn my own conclusions about the product, and that's what you've been seeing and hearing in this video. Now, if you were to be interested in buying this product, I'm gonna leave a 10% off link for you guys in the description, so check that out. That's gonna be it for this one. I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them down below in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, goodbye and hej då.